The scripture reading today is Mark 14, verses 32 to 36. They went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled. "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death," he said to them. "Stay here and keep watch." Going a little farther, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible, the hour might pass from him. "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will." The word of the Lord.
Our second scripture reading today comes once again from the book of Genesis. Let us hear God's word to us today. Jacob got up during the night, took his 2 wives and 2 women servants and his 11 sons and who knows how many daughters, and crossed the Jabbok's river shallow water. He took them and everything that belonged to him, and he helped them across the river. But Jacob stayed apart by himself, and a man wrestled with him until dawn broke. When the man saw that he couldn't defeat Jacob, he grabbed Jacob's thigh and tore a muscle in Jacob's thigh as he wrestled with him. The man said, "Let me go, because the dawn is breaking." But Jacob said, "I won't let you go until you bless me." He said to Jacob, "What's your name?" And he said, "Jacob." Then he said, "Your name won't be Jacob any longer, but Israel, because you struggled with God and with men and won." But he said, "Why do you ask for my name?" Jacob had asked him, "Tell me your name." He said, "Why do you ask for my name?" And he blessed Jacob there. Jacob named the place Peniel because I've seen God face to face and my life has been saved. Friends, this is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. Jacob wrestles and refuses to let go until he gets a blessing. But the blessing comes with a limp. House churches and Mark's groups are one of the ways that we wrestle together with many of the struggles of life, with those internal and external, with those local and far beyond. We are striving for, or we are striving against. We strive to live into the Matthew 25 vision, feeding the hungry and clothing the naked, as well as embracing the multiple calls or foci within the larger church of dismantling structural racism, eradicating systemic hunger, striving for gender justice, and more. We strive within an increasingly disenchanted and disinterested world, a world that is less interested in religious and in affiliations and institutions, but that still hungers deeply for authentic community and spiritual sustenance. We strive and we struggle, and in that we find both a blessing and a limp. We cannot encounter children and families who lack the basic necessities and return to ignorance of those who live in our neighborhoods. We cannot work to create with our hands items of comfort for those who are going through difficult times without also uniting with them in our hearts. We cannot open ourselves to fellowship and community without being vulnerable to others and without being shaped by their stories. And so today we continue that striving together with the calling of house churches and Mark's groups for the year ahead. And as a reminder, if you sense a call to start a house church or a Mark's group at any other time during the year, calls are always welcome. God doesn't always work only on our calendar. But for today, let us open our hearts and listen to how God is calling us to be active in this time and place. And we will begin with centering space.
I am Mary Lou McMillan, and I'm recalling the Centering Space Marks group. Centering Space is a physical space, an active website, and a series of offerings, including classes, retreats, and other opportunities for you to experience care, contemplation, action, renewal, and expression. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you that are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." We invite you to come find rest for your souls in the lovely harbor room upstairs in the church house, or in the beautiful renovated yoke room downstairs. To take action as we explore systemic poverty and the impact of systemic racism. To find renewal through yoga classes or an Advent retreat, or simply walking the grounds or the labyrinth with a meditative guide. To find expression through a series of creative, expressive workshops. All of these opportunities are open to you and to the larger Harrisonburg community. If you'd like to be a part of helping each activity become a reality, please join us. Come dream with us, come work with us. We meet on the third Tuesday of each month from 4 to 5 in the Centering Space media room, and a Zoom option is also available. For further information, you can contact Teresa Harris or me, Mary Lou McMillan.
I'm Rick Orem, and I'm recalling Sanctuary House Church. Let me open this recall with a passage from the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 34. "The alien who resides with you shall be to you as a citizen among you. You shall love the alien as yourself, for you were aliens in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God." And from the New Testament, Matthew 25, verse 35. "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in." The Sanctuary House Church was formed about 6 years ago with the primary purpose of providing a ministry to our immigrant neighbors in Harrisonburg and Rockingham County. In its 2022-23 covenant, the mission was outlined as follows: actively advocate for justice and social change for immigrants and disenfranchised people at the national, state, and local levels. Work with immigrants and or disaffected, disenfranchised people to learn from them, build trust, and be in solidarity with them. Be open to other mission activities as God leads us. We have organized our activity around the 4 marks of the church. As a continuation of our mission from the previous year, we focused on helping a young Honduran mother who had settled in Harrisonburg to be closer to family and who sought medical care for her 4-year-old daughter facing multiple health challenges. We extended help by providing transportation to medical appointments at UVA Medical Center in Charlottesville, by providing direct financial assistance to cover rent and basic living needs, and by providing legal assistance as she navigated the application process for asylum for her and her daughter. Just this week, we learned that Marisol, the mother, has received documentation from Homeland Security showing that daughter Liliani has received official status as a special juvenile immigrant approved for asylum. This status allows her to remain in the United States legally for the next 4 years. After the 4-year wait, she can apply for U.S. citizenship. This is very good news indeed, and indicates that our efforts have been rewarded and our prayers have been answered. Marisol is also in the process of applying for asylum thanks to the advice of local attorneys, funded largely through contributions from members of the House Church and other members of Trinity. Both mother and daughter have obtained Social Security numbers and work permits. Liliani is enrolled in a special education program for preschool children at Pleasant Valley Elementary School, where she receives physical and occupational therapy. Though much progress has been made, there is much yet to do to provide support for this young family. Much of the legwork which produced these results was provided by member Hetty Reese. Sally Boucher was our mission leader. Over the last year, Sanctuary House has held meetings twice a month, usually the second and fourth Wednesdays starting at 6:30 p.m. These meetings have been held in person, virtually, or in a hybrid format as we have navigated through the restrictions imposed by COVID mandates. Each meeting starts with a devotion led by a member, followed by a nurture discussion of a book chosen for its relevance to our basic mission. In the fall, we read and discussed Solito, a personal account of an El Salvadoran refugee, Javier Zamora, and his harrowing trek north to escape crime in his native El Salvador and find refuge in the United States. In the spring, we read Beyond Welcome by Karen Gonzalez, an immigrant advocate who immigrated from Guatemala as a child and who writes about her experiences both in the United States and abroad from a Christian perspective. Both of these books have provided important and varied insights into the experiences of immigrants as we strive to better understand the lived experience of Marisol and her family, who chose to leave their native country to move to an alien land in hopes of making a better life for themselves and their children. Bill Reinhold was our nurture leader. We opened every meeting with a devotion led by various members of the group. We celebrated communion twice, led by Bill Reinhold. Members of Sanctuary House also led Sunday worship at Trinity on a fifth Sunday. This occurred April 30th. Hetty Reese was our worship leader who organized members to lead our devotions. We devoted time at each meeting for sharing joys and concerns. In July, we celebrated members' birthdays in a special activity organized by fellowship leaders Vicki Carruthers and Mo McLeod. An important benefit of membership in Sanctuary House is the mutual support for members as we confront a variety of life challenges. The purpose of this recall today is to invite members of Trinity to join us in this next year. Our first meeting of this new year will be October 11th, starting at 6:30 p.m., probably here at the church house. If you are interested in more information, please talk with any of the members of our house church. Let me close by adding a personal note to this recall. My wife Sue and I moved to Harrisonburg a little over 5 years ago and immediately found a welcoming community here at Trinity. As I came to understand the concept of house church, I was attracted to Sanctuary House for its mission of helping immigrants and refugees who were newcomers to the area. I had spent the last 5 decades of my life studying and observing the impact of immigration on our nation's social fabric, so it was natural that I continue my interest here in the Valley. Through our work with Marisol and Liliani, we have been witnesses to one young mother's struggle for a better life for herself and her young daughter. Through this witness, we have to ask ourselves the question, would we be so courageous as to leave family and friends and all that is familiar to move to an alien land and with no certainty of finding a better life? But then when I ask myself the question, I can say, well, that's what my own ancestors did several generations ago. What these multiple generations of immigrants have in common is that we are all part of this amazing social fabric made up of courageous humans moving across borders to seek a better life. Being part of Sanctuary House has given me an opportunity to become acquainted with others at Trinity with similar interests and to welcome the stranger, as Christ admonishes us to do. It has been indeed an example of applying our faith to a real-life challenge and seeing the positive results that can occur as a result of hard work, persistence, and prayer.
Good morning. I'm Linda Bradley, and I'm here to formally recall the Hearts and Hands Marks Group for the coming year. Hearts and Hands focuses on 2 marks of the church, mission and fellowship. We create and share prayer shawls, stoles, and lap robes, as well as shoe boxes, and you know that's S-H-O-O, not S-H-O-E. blessing baskets, joyful jars, and other items that express Trinity's concern and love to persons experiencing both joy and sadness in their lives. In this endeavor, Hearts and Hands works closely with the pastoral care team and is engaged in outreach to all of Trinity and to our neighbors and friends and family, near and far. We celebrate and share the joy of our mission with those who partner with us in the community and across the world. And some of the recipients of our shoeboxes and blessing baskets have in turn shared them with friends and family who have also appreciated them. Because of this expanded outreach to others across the globe, we have been guided by the following scripture from Mark 4:30 through 32. Jesus said, "What shall we say the kingdom of God is like? It is like a mustard seed, which is the smallest seed you plant in the ground. And yet when planted, it grows and becomes the largest of all garden plants, with such big branches that the birds of the air can perch in its shade." In reflecting on the power and the strength and the reach of the mustard seed, we embrace the power, the strength, and the reach of our own ministry. Many times we have seen how this ministry has blessed both the giver and the receiver. Hearts and Hands meets at 7 o'clock on the third Monday of each month, usually over Zoom. So our next meeting will be Monday, October 16th. We welcome you to join us in fellowship and in creating prayer shawls. We especially would love to include others who don't necessarily love to or know how to knit or crochet, but would like to share in our ministry, and maybe mystery, in some way. This could be done by donating to or helping to create shoeboxes for the ministry. In fact, we hope to hold an open shoebox party for both young and old later this fall. To learn more about Hearts and Hands, just talk with me or any members of our group, and be sure to call or email me for the Zoom link to our next meeting. In closing, I'd like to share with you the following words from the hymn, "Let Your Heart Be Broken." Let your heart be broken for a world in need. Feed the mouths that hunger, soothe the wounds that bleed. Give the cup of water and the loaf of bread. Be the hands of Jesus, serving in his stead. We strive to be the hearts and the hands of Jesus, serving in his stead. May it be so.
Good morning. I'm Judy LaPera, and I am recalling Reaching Out House Church. There are so many verses in the Bible which guide us to care for one another that it was difficult for me to choose one. But I have selected Philippians chapter 2, verse 4. Instead of each person watching out for their own good, watch out for what is better for others. In reaching out, we like to think of the definition of that as describing our relationships within the house church, but also with the congregation and with the community beyond our walls. This year, we will continue to observe the 4 marks of the church. In fellowship, we celebrate one another's joys and special life events and support one another in difficult times. Our meeting worship experiences undergird these interactions and give us strength. Often they focus on how Christ's love guides us in our interactions with others. For Nurture, we will continue the study of Terry McDowell Ott's newest book, Necessary Risks, Challenges Privileged People Need to Face, certainly pertinent to reaching out. As part of that study and in partnership with the Harvest team, we have invited her to preach at Trinity on November 19th, after which she will lead a nurture session on her book to which all are invited. In recent years, mission has gotten short shrift as We have dealt with the issues of aging, and some of our beloved members have died. However, we found new opportunities to reach out. We have found new opportunities to reach out with a helping hand by supporting the missions of other house churches and Mark's groups. This year, we have committed to help the Clothes Closet, and we hope to support the backpack program. We are open to partnering with other groups as the needs arise. We're very much looking forward to this new venture in our house church and invite any who are interested to join us. Our first meeting will be on Wednesday, October 18th at 10 a.m. in the Yoke Room. Thank you.
I'm Nancy Hopkins Garris, and I'm calling a Mark's group to act as the core team for Valley Interfaith Action. We had this core team, Mark's group, a few years ago, and I'm recalling that with a year's gap that we had. In Mark 12, 29 through 31, it says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your minds, and love your neighbor as yourself." The Bible gives continuous and countless examples of who our neighbor is, including people from other races, religions, nations, and beliefs. In Genesis, we meet the loving God who created all people and all nations, and the awesome majesty of creation bids us to humbly acknowledge that the fullness of God's intention is beyond the scope of our own understanding. Because of our faith in the incarnation of God in Jesus Christ, we are called upon to work with and to respect our neighbors, and to meet God in our neighbors. The Valley Interfaith Action brings together people of all faiths and social and political stances to work together to improve our community. After over 1,000 conversations held with various members of the community and a time of discernment, discussion, prayer, VIA, Valley Interfaith Action, determined to concentrate its work for the next few years on transportation and childcare. In March, over 560 people gathered to present plans to meet these needs to corporate and political leaders. VIA is working with the county and the state leaders to develop door-to-door transportation and affordable childcare. In the child care realm, they're working so that every 3- and 4-year-old from a family making less than $55,000 a year can have access to quality pre-K, and then all pre-K teachers earn at least $50,000 a year, and that all people who work within child care earn at least $15 an hour. For transportation in Harrisonburg, VIA is working with the city for a microtransit, kind of like a public Uber in the evenings after hours, and in Rockingham County working toward door-to-door transportation so that any resident can call 24 hours in advance and make a reservation to be picked up at their door and taken to their destination. But there's a long way to go. We're just at the beginning. We're getting some support, but VIA is just at the beginning stages of getting some of these things to happen. If you can imagine some of the families who are struggling to try to keep their jobs, keep children in child care, and the people who live in the county who can't get to doctor's appointments or get to their work, or just even some of the things that make life better, such as haircuts or shopping and movies, all sorts of things. So that's what the goal is, to work on those things. Trinity is a member of VIA, and as a member, and have been a member since the beginning, and as a member, one of the hopes that VIA has is that there will be a core team within the congregation or within the organization that's part of VIA. Having a Mark's group again will help us better coordinate the work of each of us who's already volunteering with Valley Interfaith Action and improve our ability to communicate with each other and with the congregation. It'll also help us as we work together to encourage more people to join in this vital work and also give encouragement and support to each other as we go through working with VIA. It is an exciting opportunity also to make a difference in the lives of those around us. With the current goals to address transportation and child care, these things can really benefit members of our community who are struggling. Being part of the Marks Group and being part of VIA also gives you the wonderful opportunity of getting to know people from other faiths, other political persuasions, and a wide variety of people. So that's a definite bonus to being part of VIA. The next things that are going to be happening are major events for VIA are going to be a candidates forum on October the 26th, and then another large mass meeting on December the 7th. Please contact me if you're interested in working with or being part of this Marks Groups. I have set to have the first meeting at 5:30 p.m. on October 5th at the Church House. If that doesn't work for people, but you're interested, please let me know, because that's just a date that I picked so that we could make sure we were before the October 26th event. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kathy Gillette, and I'm here to represent the Clothes Closet Marks Group. Today, we collectively would like to make a call for the Clothes Closet Marks Group. And I don't know if you all noticed, but Mary Lou made this altar here to represent the 4 marks of the church. So take a look at it when you come up, and maybe you'll be able to discern what it means. It's nurture, fellowship, worship, and mission. The marks we're called to are nurture, mission, and fellowship, and we provide nurture to our needy neighbors by providing them clothes at no cost. We enjoy fellowship by communing together with a common cause, and our mission is to fulfill Jesus' calling to clothe those in need. The focus of our group can be found in John 3, verses 16 through 18. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. The Trinity Clothes Closet, as you know, has been a ministry for a long time. We've been around since 1965. That's over 58 years of mission work. In addition to providing clothes, we also strive to share God's love and to serve the real and tangible needs of our clients. Our focus is to provide free clothes to the needy families and individuals in our area, both Harrisonburg and Rockingham County. By talking with our clients every week, we often find that they have other needs, and we provide information regarding other appropriate resources in the community. We have a rack of pamphlets that we regularly give out to people, things like where you can get free diapers. Diapers are very expensive. I don't know if you know that, but we have a lot of resources within our community. We do not provide diapers, but we have a lot of women who have young children or are pregnant and will be in need of them. So that's just an example of one of the resources in the community that we can help them find. Well, the Clothes Closet, of course, regularly needs volunteers, and we're really thankful for all the volunteers that have stepped up recently in particular. And anyway, I'll go ahead and tell you about what the tasks are that we actually do on a regular basis. We sort and hang the clothing donations on Wednesday mornings from 9 to 11 in preparation for the Wednesday evening open hours that we have for our clients. Helping on the first and third Wednesday of every month, Trinity hosts the clothes closet to our clients from about 6:15 to 7:45. That's the time frame in which the volunteers are here, and on other Wednesdays as needed. And we have two other churches who also provide evening help for us, and that is the Harrisonburg Baptist Youth Group. They've been coming for years and years, probably over 15 years, as well as Muhlenberg Lutheran Church, and there's a group of ladies there that have been helping for quite a long time as well. And they also provide us with comforters almost every year, handmade comforters that one of their mission groups makes, and we provide those to our customers who are in need of that type of, those types of things. Also, another task we do is, everybody in this church probably has done it at some time, donate your gently used clothing and shoes by putting your donations in the green trash can that's in the coat closet, or any other time during Trinity's business hours. We brainstorm and work toward our goal of reaching out to a wider community so more people can be served. We are providing help for 3 hours twice a year on Switchover Day, which happened yesterday when we switch out seasonal clothing. Thank you so much to everybody that showed up yesterday for Switchover Day. It was very successful. It was seamless. Everybody worked well together, and we enjoyed fellowship together. We also have members of our team who provide laundry and mending assistance. Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Patty Warner. A few weeks ago, our closing statement indicated that due to limited volunteers coming forward consistently to fill in the gaps, it was difficult to staff some weeks. We thought we would have to shift to opening the clothes closet only on evenings when we have specific groups of at least 4 volunteers committed to serving. I'm happy to inform you that we now have 2 new viable groups with their own coordinators, volunteers, and backup volunteers. Thanks go out to Martha Kleckner and Lauren Stroderman for coordinating the volunteers and backup volunteers for the first and third Wednesdays of the month. So that's really good news. We are still looking for a group to provide service on the 5th Wednesdays of the month, which only occurs a few times a year. And we're trying to work with a group at Eastern Mennonite University. It's a Christian student group called Why Serve, and we're hoping that they'll be able to take that job on. A new development will also start this week. We'll be working with special needs students from Harrisonburg High School, helping them develop work skills. They will join us on Wednesday mornings, and we will help them with learning some skills, and they will be helping us at the same time. That starts this Wednesday, and their special ed teacher will be with them as well. So please contact me or any other member of the Clothes Closet team, John, Teresa, anybody, and if you're interested in helping, we can always use more people. We do really appreciate all the support that we get. We always do need volunteers, so if you feel the call, just consider joining us for this worthy cause and take part in the Clothes Closet group for 2023 and 2024. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Teresa Harris,
And I'm Lizzie Healy.
and we are here to call a new Marks group that's truly intergenerational. Go ahead.
So, our working title right now is Turning Tables. And the idea is that the table is where we can all join to unite around food and conversation and love. And for a lot of people, that really is the heart of the home. And I know that no matter where I am, if I'm in the kitchen, I feel at home. So that's kind of the idea. And then the turning part, we want to turn out and look at our community and see where we can work, play, and just improve in people's lives. So you want to start grabbing stuff out of the bag?
Okay, well, let's do the Bible verses.
Yeah. Let's do some Bible verse.
Let's do some Bible verses here. We are both backpack Mark's Group people. Lizzie was with the very first, at the very beginning, with her mom and with other children and their parents. And they're the ones who started our backpack program at Keister with real backpacks. I came in significantly later at my retirement, and now I've been able to work with backpack. And so we've moved the tables around which we gather together into the community, and we're expanding it even further, built on several Bible verses. First one in Genesis 1, where God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, and they will be yours for food. By Genesis 9, everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything. And as a result, we saw throughout the Gospels and on into the letters, people gathering together for food and for fellowship. And so that's what we're about.
Now the fun part starts. So we started off with backpacks. That was the Backpack Coalition, but the idea of this is to expand upon that. So here's some of the other things you can look forward to. Numero uno. This is my labor of love right here. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm a dietetics student at JMU, and I just transferred here. For those of you that don't know what dietetics is, I like to say that it's the art of using nutrition sciences to help improve the quality of people's lives. So to me, that's really what I'm passionate about. And last year, I worked on a research paper by myself that I'm working on getting published, and it's surrounding nutrition and using it as a treatment for dementia and Alzheimer's. And so one of the things that I'm bringing to the table for this Marcus group is my knowledge not only on that topic, but then I'm also really, really passionate about public health. And since I'm at JMU now, I have a lot of connections through that. And so I want to help people understand the literature and understand that not all of the information you see may be as credible as you think it is. And so kind of helping people to unwrap research and find what applies to you and how you can use it to help yourself. Next up, we have this mug. This came from our mug wall. And so to me, this represents family. Trinity is a part of my family. It's one of my families. And so each month, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, we're going to be doing a monthly supper club. And so that's going to be an opportunity to kind of expand upon your family and expand our Trinity family as well. Speaking of which, we've got our silverware. This is representative of that supper club that I was talking about. And so the idea is that we're going to join together once a month with whoever wants to come. This is kind of like the working times we're thinking about, but if you want to help prepare the meal, that will start at 5 p.m. on a Sunday, one Sunday a month. And then if you just want to come and enjoy in the fellowship and the community and whatever lovely food we made that month, you can join us at 6:30. But once we kind of get an idea of who's interested in this Marks group, we're going to be very, very flexible with moving those times around, what Sunday of the month works for people, etc. Next up, it says shalom. It says shalom. And this is kind of representative of our broader community globally. So I know that we have Haresh and his family joining us in India, but Trinity's reach really can be so much larger than just Trinity and Harrisonburg. And so one of the things that I want to explore in the other part of the Marks group is, so there's going to be the monthly supper club, but then we're also going to meet another time a month. So there will be an opportunity to meet twice a month, but this one is completely optional. So this is going to be our deeper dive into nutrition, public health, how we can serve our community, so the work that we want to do, our mission. And so one of the things that I'm interested in is cultural competency, so understanding that somebody's culture impacts not only how they eat, but how they live in every single part of life. And so maybe we can learn how different people around the world say grace, for example, and that's a small piece that we can try to bring to our personal knowledge. Next up is our communion cup. So at the supper club, we'll be joining in communion, and that's going to be an awesome fellowship opportunity, but then also kind of bringing in that worship piece. So for me personally, food is very spiritual for me because I can physically see, okay, it started in the ground, and now it's going into my body. And so that's a type of nourishment, and that's kind of where the worship piece comes in. Oh, last but not least, this is some Play-Doh. And this represents a couple of things. So Play-Doh is you move it, right? It's flexible. This idea is flexible. It's brand new. We're not exactly sure where we want to take it yet, but based on what energy comes behind it, who wants to get involved and in what capacities, we're going to be flexible. We're going to see where our community is asking for help and how we can help them. So that's kind of what this is about. And then at the end of the day, we have our empty backpack, right? So this all started with the backpack itself. But the idea is that we're no longer focused on the backpack and more of like why we need the backpack in the first place. So why are people hungry? How can we help them? How can we expand what's going into the backpack? So maybe it's not just food. Maybe it's community. Maybe it's fellowship, nurture, all of the marks of the church. So we really want to explore and get to the root of those issues. So if you're feeling a call, you can talk to me. I also made some handouts, and so those will be out kind of like in the sign-up area. And obviously Teresa's also available.
We're really excited for you to be able to join in whatever way you're able to join. If you love to know about food, from where it starts to where it ends in the compost pile, where it goes through your body and makes you strong, where it goes out in the community to make our community strong, we invite you to come join us. If your little piece right here is, I'd like to show up for a free meal on a Sunday night, that's fine too, because fellowship is what we're all about. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Lauren Stroderman. That is a lot to follow. But I am here to represent the Guns to Gardens Marks Group. This Marks Group was called for the specific purpose of planning a Guns to Gardens event. We'll culminate a year of planning, a year of collaboration with 3 other congregations, Community Mennonite, Parkview Mennonite, and Shalom Mennonite, on October 22nd. Mark your calendars. And join us at 2 o'clock on October 22nd. We'll begin with worship and then move to the parking lot where guns will be dismantled and the transformation of those pieces into works of art and tools for gardens will begin. This event is a way to say no more to the world created by the NRA and begin creating a different world, a world that embodies the vision of the prophet Isaiah, where swords will be beaten and into plowshares, and children will no longer learn the way of violence. Please join us.
And I am Virginia Healy, and I am recalling the Backpack Marks Group that you've already heard a little bit about. As we've said, today we're having a potluck. I love potlucks, but there is always a time where I'm like, oh, is there going to be enough? Is there going to be enough food? And then I always think about the story of the loaves and the fishes in John 6. because Jesus took that lunch of that little boy and turned it into a feast for thousands. And I know that there's going to be enough. But unfortunately, in our community, that math is not true for a lot of our families. They simply do not have enough food, and they need extra food. Even though every child in Harrisonburg City Schools gets a free breakfast and lunch, that does not take care of the other meals on the weekends and at night. And so the Backpack Coalition has really worked to improve that. As you've already heard, the history of this is it started about 12 years ago when some of our kids were at Keister, and they noticed that some of those students just did not have enough to eat. And so with Tamara Grant's leadership, the Backpack Coalition has ensured that every school in Harrisonburg has a program like this. There really aren't words for me to say what Tamara has done and for the love that she has for the children of Harrisonburg and how she wants them just to have that basic need of having enough food. Trinity is the financial agent for Keister and Bluestone Elementary. I thank Jeannie Klump for the extra work that makes for her. At least 100 bags go out every week between those two schools. And so the need is definitely there. So how can you help? Members of the Backpack Marks group get together Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. at Keister to pack the bags. There is a need for volunteers to deliver the bags to the families. And of course, we appreciate any money that you would like to donate to this program through Trinity, and we would welcome any new contributions to help this mission grow. If you have any questions, you can talk to me or Dane Byers. Thank you.
Are there any other calls to be made? All right. What wonderful mission is happening and will continue to happen. Thanks be to God.